borderless continent. We need a continent with one currency. We need a continent with one parliament, which has got teeth and it will bite and hold the executives in countries accountable. And ultimately, we need one African president.
You've opened the borders for Europeans and Americans. Those people who have American and European passports can enter all of these African countries for free without even paying for any visa. So they can come and take your jobs. You have no problem. You will do yes and massa and give them your jobs for free. But your fellow Africans coming in, that one, hell will break loose. So you see that mentality.
I mean, we still have judges in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, wearing blonde wigs. What is that? What is that? And including some scholars who are lawyers, they are wearing those things. They still wear those things and come and lecture us about decolonization wearing a wig. Decolonizing Africa starts with simple things. Starts with doing away with apartheid colonial symbols and colonial way of doing things. I was very worried with those judges in Zimbabwe. Even our judges here, they wear those green things. I don't know what do these things represent. What is that? What symbol is that? Does it mean when you're wearing this thing, you can only think when you're wearing a wig that looks like the hair of white people? You're actually wearing white brains. The reason you think properly is that wig, according to colonialism. And then revolutionaries like ZANU-PF allows that to continue in Zimbabwe. They allow that to continue in Kenya. Well, Kenya, of course, is something different. I don't think there is a total independence there. America has got a huge interest in that affair, in that arrangement of Kenya. But everywhere else in the continent, we need to start doing away with those things. And pulling out of Commonwealth is one of the things we need to do to realize
Yes, here we are. Welcome and greetings all of you, dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. That is our brother, our Pan-Africanist, Mr. Julius Malema, the President and Commander-in-Chief of Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa, telling Africans to do away from colonial mentalities and colonial ways of doing things. Dear lovely family, you may ask yourself why our judges need to wear colonial wigs that is white, looks like white brain. I think the time has come to make sure that we do away from those colonial mentalities and the colonial way of doing things. One thing that I'm very proud of is that Captain Ibrahim Traore has already banned those colonial wigs in Burkina Faso. This statement of Julius Malema spoken 6 years ago, but later on, after 4 years, when Captain Ibrahim Traore came to power, he abolished and banned these colonial wigs and introduced this new Burkina Faso judges wearing style. What you see here, these are judges in Burkina Faso, and that's how they dress. Looks nice, looks smart. So we don't need to look like white to do things. You know, we have been made to think that we need to look like white people so that we can do good thing. And that's why sometimes you find ourselves, our mothers, our brother, our sisters, even our brothers right now, they're bleaching their color. They want to look like white in order to maybe to look beautiful, to look handsome. The time has come, we Africans, to do away from these colonial mentalities. Our leaders like Traoré, Malema, Professor Lumumba, Dr. Lekana Chombolekwao, Duma Boko, and many other Pan-Africanists, they are always speaking the right thing. But those right things are not reaching many Africans. You know why? It's because of barrier, language barrier. So we need also to find the way how we can have a common language. When Malema is speaking in South Africa, the entire continent can understand what Malema has said. If Captain Ibrahim Traore can speak from Ouagadougou in Burkina, the entire continent can understand that a leader from Burkina Faso has said that and this. If Abdulrahman Chian of Niger can speak something very critical, the entire continent can understand. But right now, Captain Ibrahim Traore can speak a good thing, but few Africans can understand because of language barrier. So Malema has also addressed the issue of languages, that we need to find our own language that can unite Africans. When we speak as Africans, we address Africans. You know, right now we speak English, but it's Europeans who are getting our messages. And it's very easy for them to understand our plans, what we want to do. And it will be easy for them even to sabotage our plans because they know everything that we are going to do. So we need to find our common language as Africans. If it is Hausa, if it is maybe Bambara, or any kind of language that we can decide as Africans that we are going with this language as a united African language. So let us listen to Malema what has suggested about the issue of the language. Welcome.
We must, and even if it's not our generation, generations to come, we must have a language that unites Africans, like Swahili. If Swahili can be developed and it become a continental language, and then we do away with speaking to each other in English, because that's what colonizers did. Divided us, made sure that we don't have a common language to communicate amongst ourselves, and then we use their language to communicate so that they can hear everything we say. So we need to do away with that. If we want Africa, which will be an equal competitor with the West and America. So it is through small things that we'll realize a total freedom of Africa, not only South Africa. I was very well. We must, and even if it's not our generation, generations to come, we must have a language that unites Africans, like Swahili. If Swahili can be developed and it become a continental language, and then we do away with speaking to each other in English, because that's what colonizers did. Divided us, made sure that we don't have a common language to communicate amongst ourselves, and then we use their language to communicate so that they can hear everything we say. So we need to do away with that. If we want Africa, which will be an equal competitor with the West and America. So it is through small things that we will realize a total freedom of Africa, not only South Africa.
Yes, dear lovely family, that is Mr. Julius Malema talking about the issue of the language. But what can we do, my dear lovely family, friends, to make sure that we have a common language? I think for me, we need to open borders to allow borderless continent. If we can have a borderless continent, there's no need for Africans maybe to go to school to learn maybe certain language. Automatic, if we can agree as Africans that we are going to use Swahili, people will move from one place to another. They will exchange, they will do businesses among themselves. So we need a borderless continent. Also, Malema has spoken the issue of borderless continent. Let us listen what Malema has said about the issue of borderless continent.
Borderless continent. We need a continent with one currency. We need a continent with one parliament, which has got teeth and it will bite and hold the executives in countries accountable. And ultimately, we need one African president. We need United States of Africa. We supported and we continue to support those ideals of brother leader Gaddafi. We are following in the footsteps of those leaders. We are not saying they were perfect, some of them, but there are a lot of teachings that come from our leaders in the continent which we can follow because we think they will unite us. This thing was the one thing called Africa. This was one thing. It was divided by colonizers. These borders are artificial borders imposed on us by colonizers. Why do you want to behave like you are owning colonizers' properties? These borders are colonizers' properties, they are not ours. Let us go back to African unity. We want one voice, one Africa. We must stop doing away with African hate, which was instilled in us by the colonizers. When you say, hey, there are too many Zimbabweans here, there are too many Nigerians here, hey, you are doing the work of the devil.
Yes, that is Mr. Julius Malema talking about the issue of borderless continent. But it's not only Malema who is addressing this matter of borderless continent. Also, we have young Ghanaian who is addressing and advocate of borderless continent. Let us go and listen what he's saying. I'm talking about borderless continent because in order to achieve what we desire and even this continental free trade area, we need to have a borderless continent. I know there are those who are fearing about opening borders, but let us clear our doubt here in this video from this young Ghanaian. Welcome and listen what he's saying.
If you are in Ghana and you think that when you open the borders, all Africans are going to Russia and they are going to take your jobs, then you are thinking small. It means that your mind has not extended to think that you can also look for opportunities in other parts of the continent. Who told you that your success is only limited to Ghana? Who told you that? Why don't you think that you can also look for opportunities elsewhere? But, I mean, the real question is, you've opened the borders for Europeans and Americans. Those people who have American and European passports can enter all of these African countries for free without even paying for any visa. So they can come and take your jobs. You have no problem. You will do yes and massa and give them your jobs for free. But your fellow Africans coming in, that one, hell will break loose. So you see that mentality. And I would urge us, I think what I'm really trying to advocate, we have a Borderless Africa campaign, but we must also begin to initiate the thinking about borderless Africans. For everybody to begin to say, I am a borderless African. In other words, I am not confined by the 1884 cages. I am not confined by the borders that were put in place by Europeans. The whole of Africa is my horizon. And I'm not going to confine myself to Kenya. I'm not going to confine myself to Tanzania. I'm not going to confine myself to Gambia or Malawi or Zambia or anything of that sort. Because Africa is my identity and Africa is my horizon. I think when we begin to think big in that sense, that is the only way by which we can make collaboration work for ourselves and have the vision to move this continent. So I am happy to become the first borderless African. So anybody who wishes to become a borderless African, you can just say after me, I am a borderless African.
I am a borderless African.
My horizon is not limited to Ghana or Malawi or Zambia.
Horizon is not limited to Ghana.
You can just put your country in there. The whole Africa is my horizon.
All Africa is my horizon.
I am a borderless African.
I am a borderless African.
And we are all borderless Africans.
We are all borderless African.
So when I say borderless, you say African. Borderless.
African.
Borderless.
African.
Borderless.
African.
That's the spirit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, that is our brother from Ghana talking about the borderless continent. Yes, I know there's a doubt from some of our fellow brothers and sisters about maybe if they open borders, that those who will come and take their jobs. Not only them, even our leaders, political leaders, they have a fear that maybe if certain young people come, they will vote them out. That's why they fear to open borders. But one good thing is that for we Africa to thrive, to succeed, we need to open borders. Look the way Europeans are doing. There's no border in Europe. They have single visa, but the same Europeans they have no border, in Europe, when they come to Africa, they are free to move from one country to another, even without being asked for visas. But when it comes for we Africans, you find that you need to have visa, and you get disturbance from your fellow brothers and sisters from a certain country. I think we Africans, we have a lot of self-hate. We must end self-hate. So I think my message to all brothers and sisters here in the continent and to those who are in the diaspora, let us stop self-hate. Those who are in leadership, you must understand that the only success for us Africans is to allow people to integrate, people to work together. Why you prefer to work with Europeans than your neighboring country, your brother country? Why you sign agreement with European countries that are too far from you, but you fear your neighboring country, your neighboring brothers and sisters? And we know that these borders were temporarily imposed by colonizers. All of us, we are witness that these borders were drawn by colonizers for their own interest, to exploit, to put limitation that you, France, this is your territory where you can extract minerals. You, UK, extract oil in this area. You, Portugal, go and extract mineral in this area. Why we are still maintaining those colonial borders? We have seen, for instance, I have been saying this many times, if you go to East Africa, you find the Maasai. Maasai are in Kenya, Maasai are in Tanzania. But all are Maasai. How can you differentiate Maasai? Look, in East Africa, there's something that is very, very interesting. This animal migration. You find after every time animals from Serengeti to Masai Mara migrating. No one asking them about a visa, and no one can say these are Kenyans animal or these are Tanzanian animals. Animals are moving, crossing from one place to another. You see birds crossing borders. They go to one side, they live in another side, they find water in another side. Why birds are more creative than we Africans? Why animals in Masai Mara and in Serengeti are more intelligent than we Africans? What's wrong with us? If animal can understand that this time or in this season, in this area there's no food, there's no grass, they move to another area, in another country. The same to birds. We have birds that are living in Australia and come to Africa to make birth. Just imagine birds. But we Africans, to move from maybe from South Africa to Zimbabwe, it looks like you are losing. Or to allow Zimbabwe to move to Zambia, it looks like you are violating something. It's because of colonial mentalities. So we need to change our colonial mentalities. We cannot succeed. You know, we are protecting the interest of politicians than protecting the interest of Africans. We are busy protecting the interest of political issues than our economic issues. So these politicians and the political issues are undermining our development. So if we Africans, we can focus on development, I think there's no need to fear about opening borders. So do you want we Africans, we are terrorists? We Africans, are we terrorists? So that if you open the border, we can go to a certain country and distract things? No, those are just mentalities. Those are just mentalities. These small territories that we have, and I'm sure maybe it will not happen in our generation, but the generation to come, things will change. One day I was sharing the issue of Nigerian chief of army who came with the idea of building wall and fences across Nigeria to avoid people from Sahel to come to Nigeria when things went wrong, according to him. And I said, you know, right now people are not coming to your country physically, People are using drones. If people want to invite you or to attack you, no one is coming physically. We have seen what happened in the Middle East, Israel and Iran. All of us, we know. Right now, no one will come face to face you. People will use technologies. People are attacking you through internet. People are attacking you through technologies. So if we have these mentalities of thinking that maybe by opening borders, by closing borders, we are safe, my brother, my friend, people can stay away from you, can send drones, can send missiles, can attack you, can use any kind of means to attack you, even without you understanding. You see? So we Africans, we have, some of us, we think that we are still thinking in the maybe 90s or 80s or 70s. But I'm sure by the year 2050, things will be already changed. Things will be already changed. There's no need for you to maintain your border. These borders is for political issues, for administration. But where we are going, we need to open borders. We need to allow Africans to move from one place to another, to do businesses. So we have this continental free trade area. How are we going to implement if we continue by closing these borders? So we need to think beyond. I'm very happy. I see young people have started to awakening. They have addressing their desire. I know those who are in leadership, old men and the women, are not happy and they are not ready. They are not ready to change and to accept things that is happening right now. But the time must go. People will change automatically. The environment and the things on the ground will force them to change. And the time also will force them to change. So those are just ideas from Mr. Julius Malema about borderless continent and our brother from Ghana. We want a united Africa. United Africa is safe than this divided Africa. Right now, you see America and Congo signed agreement without other African countries understanding what they have signed. We don't know. Maybe America is going to station a military base in Congo. We don't know. But if we are so united, we can understand what Congo and America and Rwanda have signed because we are Africans. So, yes, up to that, let me say thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining this movement. Thank you for being part of this family. If you have not subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe so that you can get more information from this platform. And if you have already subscribed, make sure that you share the video to other Africans, and also you like the video so that our video can go viral and can be reach many people as it should. So kings and queens, let me say have a nice time, stay in power. See you next time. We are here to find solutions for our challenges. We are here to make Africa great. We are here to build the Africa that all of us we want. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.